I met Jerry Lee. Can I just have a sip before we start?
You met Jerry Lee Lewis.
I was sitting outside in the curb waiting for the guy from the exit in to pick me up. The guy pulls up in a car, takes something out of the trunk and walks away and doesn't close the trunk.
Okay, we're rolling.
Open about that much. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, it's your trunk's open." He turned around, it was the killer, and he went, "Son, that's a Cadillac." And the thing went, shh, locked itself.
Oh, God. All right, we watched this film last night, and the crowd was roaring.
Great.
They were rolling in the aisles, and they applauded the film when it was over.
Isn't that nice news?
A good sign.
I hope so. I think it's a wonderful film. I think it's a great movie that people hopefully will talk about and come to see a couple of times. I think it provokes that kind of controversy about it. You know, it's just a really provocative, well done, mature film with no car crashes of people with bad heads on.
What do you think of Harry and his ideas about male-female relationships?
Well, he's the most fascinating character I've ever played. He's the richest, funniest, most complicated person I've ever had to play, who goes through every emotion that there possibly can be, and a lot of them in the last 5 minutes of the film. And who comes up with convoluted theories about life, and some of them, or most all of them, ring true in some way. Some of them are real abstract, but for the most part, I think the one you're talking about is the statement that men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way, which I think is for the most part is true. It's not as 100% in my life as it is in Harry's life, but I think it's a very interesting topic, and I think that's what we discuss a lot in the movie.
When the film's over, what's the answer to the question?
Well, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they were friends, but they did get together in the end.
Right. On a higher plane, you know, and I think that men, there are men and women who are best friends. We're talking about best friends, you know, but usually the man is gay, or there's no sex, you know, involved, and so I think it's just maybe a sad statement, but it's a true statement that, you know, guys can talk about things on a deeper plane or think that they can, and then women and women talk, you know, on their way. I think also the movie is really positive in showing men in another light, that men feel and men hurt, and that men, without it being heavily done, that is really nice to see them talking about their pain to each other. You know, when they both split up from their respective mates. And I think that's really an important part of this movie also, is that when they do become friends after many years, that you see real honest talk about life. And I think it's great to see a man and woman do that.
Is it true you were chomping at the bit to get this part before Rob offered it to you?
Yeah, but I didn't know the part. I knew the project. I didn't know anything about it except it was in my age range. And he had told me about it, you know, and I didn't want to pry because you want to go, well, what about me, you know? And he's my closest friend in the world. And so it was like a little awkward at times because he'd call me up and say, you know, I met so-and-so, and I met this one, and I would go, oh, great, you know. And then one night he called me, like, apologizing, and you got to do the movie. I want you to do it, you know, because I just had to see these people just to go through the process, just to make sure, but we had it written for you, and, you know, but I just have to make sure. I said, well, let me read it. He said, you got to do it. And I said, wait a second, what if I don't like it? You know, he said, no, you're going to like it. So we then got into once I read it, and I really liked it, but I loved its potential. Because from the first draft to what is now is totally a different film. The story was the same, but how we said things was differently. And as best friends, now we had the choice, and we had to make this discussion, which was, we're on the set together. I don't want you to hold back from me if I'm not doing something well, just because we're friends. Don't hurt my feelings. And I won't hold back from you if I think you're wrong on something. And it was a real test because we so value our relationship. Well, that never happened. It was real grown-up time. And and that's what I love about the movie and in the work in it. It's real adult, and I just never had a better experience in my life.
Do you like the things that you're doing? I mean, you seem to be doing so many different things. I love you on the Grammys.
Thank you.
That's a nice,
Yeah,
a nice gig for you.
The one hit a year of massive television is good. I have a good time because this year in particular I loved. Because not only was I hosting and keeping it moving and hopefully funny, but I did the piece with Bobby McFerrin this year with the little young people's concert. Yeah, well, the history. I feel crappy. We did this piece, The History of Music, sort of like the Leonard Bernstein concerts. The two of us wrote together, and it was more the host being part of the show. And I thought it was a real good show this year. I like doing that, and I'm off to Russia in about a month to do a massive HBO special in the Soviet Union. So I really like my pace of my life a lot more. I'm not on the road all the time like I used to be. My kids don't call me Uncle Daddy anymore. I don't pick up my own phone at home and dial 9 first to make a call out. So I know where I am now more. And I'm in a situation where I'm just doing, hopefully, things I want to do, not things I have to do.
Do you still feel best doing stand-up, though? Is that like your niche right there? Like if you had to only do one, would you feel most comfortable doing that?
You know, I used to always say yeah. I don't know if I feel that way anymore. I like doing it when I do it. Sometimes I love doing it. But I think ultimately I'd rather be at second base in some high school field someplace just fielding grounders.
How about comic relief? That's got to be a special project.
That's a great thing. This was our third one, the best one. Keeps getting better with all of these shows like Hands Across America and Live Aid. They've come and gone. They did great stuff. We're still going. We're doing 4. It's already on the schedule in May. It'll be in New York this year, and we hope to maybe take it around the country each year now. I hate that we have to do the show, but I love the fact that all the comics come together, and there's 60 of us that night, and Robin and Whoopi and I just spend an enormous amount of time all year long for this, for helping our own.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Are you really happy? Are you enjoying what you're doing?
This is the best time of my life. Yeah, I think that the best part of it is that my kids are healthy and growing up and in their teens now, and in a year my oldest will be off to college, and we're all doing great. So I think, you know, the work is that's secondary. The fact that we're all doing pretty good is that means more to me than anything else.
Okay. Thanks
Nice
a lot,
talking
Billy.
to you.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Son, that there's a Cadillac.